Welcome to the ITSPmagazine podcast network, a modern, innovative multimedia platform, broadcasting ideas and connecting minds. Every company has a story to tell, from the small startup to the large enterprise, and everything in between. This is one of them. We hope you enjoy this brand story conversation.
Here we are. We're ready for another 7 minutes on ITSP Magazine with a new brand short story. Today I'm joined by Benny Lakunishak. He's a co-founder and CEO at Zero Networks, a company offering a simple, fully automated platform with 3 core capabilities designed to make true zero trust architecture a reality for enterprises of any size. Welcome, Benny.
Hi, Sean. Thanks for having me.
Segmentation has been best practice for quite some time now. So talk to me about this concept of microsegmentation and why organizations need to think differently about how they manage their networks in that regard.
Sure. So microsegmentation is essentially not just segmenting rough segments of the organization or the network. It's every machine, every IP address, every device, client, server, VM, anything in its own bubble, in its own network segment. That's microsegmentation. That's been extremely hard to achieve in the past. And I'm proud to say that we are making microsegmentation plug and play as it stands.
Yeah, because the networks have changed, right? The types of networks change, and the types of access to those networks, both with people and machines, have changed. So talk about some of the challenges organizations face.
I mean, the main challenges with microsegmentation is there's a few, like you need to deploy agents, and a few other things that are friction points. But the main one is that it's very manual. You need to understand before you microsegment a machine, an application, a client, a device, what it needs to remain open. Inbound mainly, maybe also outbound, depending on how you microsegment. And that allow listing per machine is excruciating. It is long, it is hard. You typically pay 3 times more than the original price just to make it go in with professional services. That's the impossible thing to do. And we make that easy by fully automating, by having it completely agentless, and a few other goodies that we have.
And so what my understanding is we're really trying to get a grasp on some of the lateral movement that some of the attackers use here. And I guess one way of doing that is by ensuring that authentication and authorization is in place, so that as things are trying to move, we can validate that. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, there's more detail to that, but lateral movement is the main problem that microsegmentation solves, that we solve. And some of it is you just want close, some of it you just want open, and then there's a lot in the middle that you want to open temporarily after verification, where they're actually the only vendor that has something like that with MFA enabled built into it. So you only open certain connections after an MFA. That's bolted into our microsegmentation solution. And we're actually the only ones that have that, and it's also patented. So.
And it covers networks. I mean, let's be honest, some legacy networks exist, and I mean mainframes are starting to make a comeback, but mainframes exist. But we also see the other end of the spectrum with IoT networks and OT networks, certainly VMs and containers. That all adds challenge to making this possible. And I presume you have the solution to that too, correct?
Yes. So our platform is essentially segmenting every asset type. It can be the most legacy of legacy, which is these stupid devices, OTs, IoTs, just stuff connected to some switch. We can do those. We can do classical, let's call it legacy on-prem, that's more IT oriented. And we can also do cloud, by the way. Like your network can be a hybrid of things you have on-prem, both IT and OT, and things you have in the cloud, both VMs and PaaS services, platform as a service in the cloud. We can do all of them, and it's all in one UI. You see all of your assets with all types, from all types, in one UI, and you segment them in one UI, and also the visibility of the connections of everything in one place.
And talk to me quickly about the protocols as well. because you talk about those different devices and different communications between them. How do you ensure that like things like RDP and SSH and things like that are controlled too?
Yeah, so there's a wide variety of protocols, obviously. The ones you specifically mentioned, let's call them the privilege or the admin protocols, the RDP, the SSH, the WinRM, those are actually, with us, never open. And that's a very good thing. We open them on demand for a temporary amount of time after you prove it's you with MFA. So with other microsegmentation solutions, you probably have to keep it open to some extent, fairly open, let's say. And with us, all of these admin ports that are heavily used by attackers and ransomware are always closed. And you have to MFA to open one temporarily for you. And that's really a big needle mover to security.
And you mentioned automation earlier. I presume that's driven by some understanding of the network. So you do some learning of how things work and how they connect, right? Talk to me about how that works.
That's a huge topic, and I don't think we have enough time to cover that. But in a nutshell, we took a big problem that everybody threw machine learning and AI bullshit at and are failing in actually succeeding in learning that. And we divided into a lot of small pieces, and each of them we did in a simple way. And it's super accurate, it's very deterministic, and we know what do we want to keep open, what do we want to keep closed, or what do we MFA. And the MFA, the good part about it, it's not for the normal employee typically. The default is just for the privileged stuff that IT, DevOps, technical people, and attackers need. So that's the automation. And obviously the server to server, the service accounts, everything that's machine to machine, the automation knows how to pick up and make sure that's open.
How can folks connect with you to get started?
So you can just go to our website and just like click to see a demo, and we'll show you how all of this works. And then if you want, our pilot is obviously for free. We have some customers that after seeing the demo, they just literally bought and segmented thousands of machines in a click, but through the website mainly.
Wonderful. Well, Benny, thanks for sharing this story with us. That's been 7 minutes here on ITSP Magazine.
Thank you, Sean.